What's up, guys? Paulie Paulie TV, Combat and Coffee. We got the Combat, no coffee yet.
I got the
I'm
coffee.
I'm here on the Pro Box TV campus. We got fights tomorrow night. Sergey Lipinets is actually coming back. He's fighting Robbie Davies. We got a show here, so that's what I'm doing over here. But other than that, I'm here with the Paulie TV crowd. What's going on, Jimmy?
How we doing, Paulie? Good to see you again. We got a lot to cover. I mean, I missed the fight on Monday night. I thought it was last night. I was going to
be
wake
honest
up.
with you, I missed it too, but then I watched it. I saw a clip.
Well, let's get straight to it. I mean, what'd you think of Inoue getting knocked down in the first?
I mean, you know what I think? I think it's part of the course. When you go up too many weight classes, you're going to start to feel some of these shots. I think it's more impressive that he rebounded and completely consumed Nery after that. But, I think when you're going up this many weight classes, you may start to feel some of the punches. You may start to feel the shots. Nery always was a pretty good puncher. It didn't completely shock me, but I was actually impressed with the way Inoue came back after that. The knockdown, the technical deficiency of the knockdown, though, is Inoue sometimes tries too hard to throw punches very hard. And you saw that he got a little bit wide with the right hand on the inside. And Nery threw his left hand inside of Inoue's right hand in that moment right there. So that's one thing Inoue has to be careful with, that he's moving up in weight class. His excitement factor is unbelievable, but he wants to, put a hurting on you so bad that sometimes he's exposing himself a little bit too much defensively. Actually, Pacquiao had some of these deficiencies as well, which is sometimes why he'd run into punches too. But nonetheless, great performance by Inoue after that, and he came back and got a terrific stoppage.
Was this his biggest test since Nonito Donaire, or
I didn't think it would be a big test. Honestly, aside from the flash knockdown, it really wasn't. But you have to consider the flash knockdown. You have to talk about it, going forward, because, you start to wonder, this is where you start to wonder, okay, how many really more weight classes can he go up? It's been impressive thus far, the weight classes he's jumped up, but, he's starting to feel the shots, as the guys are getting stronger, bigger. So even if they're not better than him, they're going to start to be threatening. Like Nery was not better than Inoue, but yet a knockdown happened because now you're dealing with the natural size disadvantage of these fighters. But it makes you wonder, some things. I'd personally like to see Inoue against Brandon Figueroa. I think, that would be a fun fight. Both guys have an attacking mind. And Figueroa is durable and really comes to put a hurting on you, I remember his brother was also a very good fighter, but just couldn't get his life together, really. But Brandon's a bit in the same mold in that, he's constantly fire, attacking you constantly. So it would be a fun fight with him and Inoue. Looking back now, especially that he's been knocked down by Nery, I'm curious to see what kind of test Figueroa gives him.
Him or Bud for pound, number one.
I still got Bud pound for pound. I know some people argue it. Tell you the truth, if Usyk beats Fury, it's going to be Usyk anyway. I mean, if Usyk beats Fury, he's number one pound regardless,
So
but,
you don't.
Let's see. That's a big if.
You don't think this stat, Bud has fought 3 times since 2021. Inoue has fought 7. Do you factor that in at all?
That's terrific, but you have to, consider that Bud has already accomplished that part of his career that Inoue's doing now, and it still hasn't lost. So just because he's not, on the same pace as he was before, doesn't mean he's suddenly off the perch. I think Inoue, when he's a little older, isn't going to fight as often either. It just happens. But still, if every time he fights, he's looking phenomenal and aces and giving A+ performances, all you can do really is, keep him on that perch. I don't have an argument. It's not like, oh man, Inoue can't be number one. I mean, ultimately, I think the pound for pound conversation is dumb anyway. I don't think it's. Yeah. I don't think it means anything anyway. I think it's just fantasy boxing. But so I don't think there's a right and wrong answer. Ultimately, I don't think people should really argue about it. But being that it's such a big talking point, I got to have a pound for pound list, right? And so for me, it's Crawford. But it doesn't really matter. If you have Inoue, I'm not going to be mad at you. Even if you have Usyk, I'm not going to be mad at you. As a matter of fact, like I said, if Usyk beats Fury, I think I got Usyk number one anyway.
You mentioned Pacquiao earlier. I wanted to bring this up. I wanted to ask, is Inoue the best Japanese fighter of all time? And where do you rank him among people from that continent and that part of the world, Asia specifically?
You would think that Inoue is already the best Japanese fighter of all time. I'm not familiar completely with Japanese history of boxing. I've seen some pretty good fighters come out of there, mostly smaller guys. But I don't know that anybody's been like sort of like him when it says create. I mean, this guy just sold 55,000 tickets in the Tokyo Dome. That's
Yeah,
amazing, you know.
yeah, I had that in there.
So, and he's also you know, just putting one amazing performance on after another. So there may never have been a guy like him before in Japan. As far as Asia, yeah, I mean, you got the comparison with Pacquiao, and then there was another guy that came before Pacquiao. I think he was also Filipino. I think he might have been around the '60s. I don't know. I don't know. I forgot what his name was, but I remember they were comparing Pacquiao to him at first, and it was like blasphemy that people would compare Pacquiao to such an all-time great. And then eventually, I think Pacquiao passed him. You know, but I think it's sort of Pacquiao's still the benchmark for Asia, Asian fighters, so to speak. You know, at the moment. But certainly, Inoue is making a case for himself as he continues to, you know, rise up the ladder.
Rising, where do you see him rising the highest in weight class? Do you ever see him going to
I don't know, bro.
lightweight?
All depends on how good the drugs can be, right?
I don't want
Hey,
to
let's
go
be
there, Paulie. Come on. We already did
let's be
a full thing on that.
let's be honest. I
Vada.
don't know.
Does Japan have Vada? What do they have?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm sure it doesn't matter. No, if you're not getting tested year round, doesn't really matter. Um, yeah. Uh, I don't know. I mean, like I said, it depends on that. It's not natural to go up that many weight classes, you know, like the way. But yeah, we've seen guys do it, so we'll see how far he can go.
Any final thoughts on that fight? What you want to see? I mean, you said you want to see him against Brandon Figueroa.
Yeah,
How much does a
yeah.
knockdown really change his course? I know I kind of asked you that already, but
I don't think
first
I
time
don't
we
think
see
it's a
somebody get
knockdown.
knocked
I
down.
don't think it's a knockdown that changes his course. I think it's more so the fact that he's been knocked down um makes you start to wonder how many more weight classes can he go up. You know, I think maybe he's reaching the ceiling as far as the amount of weight class he can go because now he's starting to feel the shots. This was a guy who was not
Yeah.
on his level, but yet he was able to get the knockdown, which is why I want to see the Figueroa fight because Figueroa handled Nery as well. So I'd like to see Figueroa and see where they go from there. And also Figueroa and Fulton was very close. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
some people thought Figueroa won that fight. So he fought Fulton, and then Figueroa has had to not get the shot because Fulton got the shot, which was, you know, a completely one-sided fight. So styles make fights. I think Figueroa and him would be a fun fight.
Let's go back a night before for Canelo Mungia. I know you've already talked a lot about this. I wanted to start with that 12th round and him. He might have held up Mungia at the end. Did you see that?
No, I just think that's Canelo in late rounds of fights. He doesn't fight a fast pace in late rounds of fights. I don't. As a matter of
You
fact,
don't think he kept him up out of respect for a Mexican fighter?
I think the blowhards with Canelo were like a different level, bro. I really think they are. Like this guy never fights a strong late part of the fight. As a matter of fact, as far as late part of the fight being strong, this was probably the strongest he has fought in the late part of the fight. So if anything, he tried to knock him out actually, because I haven't seen Canelo have this strong of a late part of the fight in a while. Even if he took his foot off the gas in the middle rounds, the guy never fights strong late in the fight. He's always getting tired. So the fact that he even fought a little bit strong late in this fight was more effort than he's given in the late part of fights and other fights. I mean, he lost the late rounds against John Ryder, for Christ's sake. You know what I mean? So, you know, what was he holding John Ryder up to? I mean, the blowhard conversations these people have are out of this world, out of this world. No, the guy didn't hold up Mungia. No, the guy didn't choose not to knock him out. He couldn't knock him out. He got a great performance. Take your great performance. Take the nice win you got. It was a perfectly good win. It was a benchmark performance as far as a veteran champion should look. I rate the performance. Stop, guy already though. Stop, man. Stop. No, the guy didn't hold the guy up. No.
Those blowhards. I'm gonna read a few comments, and I just want your opinion. You don't have to share your opinion.
Sure.
You could shake your head, but since you're mentioning
Okay.
them, why not? Our top comment on your Canelo versus Mungia response video. Your hate for Canelo is pathetic. How do you call the undisputed champ the third best fighter in the weight class? Morrell hasn't beaten anyone.
We do that by a very simple logic. This is the only sport where you're allowed to duck your best rivals, your biggest threats. And so when the consensus is that there is a couple of biggest threats in the weight class, one bar none is Benavidez, bar none, and he's being absolutely blatantly ducked. And Benavidez, I even asked Benavidez in a Pro Box TV interview, if he would just take the step aside money, then if he would demand at least step aside money from the WBC or one of these sanctioning bodies, just so at least if he's not going to get a title shot, he gets compensated. And Benavidez, in the amazing competitor that he is, he says, no, dude, I'm not going to take the step aside money because that would mean that I'm accepting him ducking me. So he's actually such a competitor that he doesn't even, not that the WBC even offered step aside money, which is ridiculous because he's always supposed to at least be offered step aside money. This is how criminal the situation has been, that he's not even been offered step aside money. But he's not even going to petition for step aside money because he doesn't want to make it look like he's accepting this outright duck by Canelo. So no, when I rate the undisputed super middleweight champion as number 3 in the weight class, it's because this is the only sport where you can duck your main rivals. Benavidez Canelo to me is not even a good fight. It's actually a one-sided beating Benavidez gives him. I don't care for the fight that much as I care for the right guys being the champions in the weight class. So if Canelo would be stripped rightfully, I wouldn't even care if that fight didn't happen, honestly, because it's not a fight that would be entertaining to me. I don't need to see Canelo get beat up or beat down. But the fact that he's got the titles and they're not stripping him is one of the reasons why I keep clamoring for the fight. It's only because the right guys should get the title fight. And so when you're allowed to outright duck the main rivals, you cannot be number 1 in the weight class no matter what, and at least not in my logical mind. So Morel and Benavidez, I think, beat Canelo. He will never fight them, so don't worry, guys. You'll get to keep him in your imaginary mind as the number 1 guy.
Bro, you don't even show this amount of hatred to the man who humiliated you live on TV. Adrian Broner took your girl and the belt. Haha.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that for blowhards, they need to make things up to make themselves feel better, and that's fine. I mean, dude, there's things on the internet like Broner take my girl, McGregor beating me up. Things on the internet that I know they're not true already, but who cares? Like if blowhards need to hold on to things that aren't true, it's because you don't have anything that's true in order to hold over my head. I can't say I'm young anymore. I was gonna say I'm young, fly, and famous, but I can't say I'm young anymore. I'm fly, I'm famous. Definitely slept with better looking women than any of these people. Got money.
You're pulling out the money card.
Not that these things should be rating the amount of success. I'm just, you know what? I just live a good life, and I have a YouTube channel that you just come here and you guys get to give your thoughts on me, and I get to this, laugh about it, and we can discuss boxing because I have a lot of great fans on here too. I don't always want to address the weirdos, but it's like, who else can, like, how many people can just say they just create a page like this and just have a dialogue with cool people and even uncool people and just like live a life. Most of you got to do your 9 to 5s and got to come chat on here from your jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to do that. Like, it's fun. Like I'm at Pro Box TV right now getting ready for fights, and most of the day we're either just chatting boxing on the record or off the record, and we're just chilling. Like, I don't know, man. I can't say that I need to hate on AB because it wasn't really that personal as it might seem in hindsight, But
come up with some new comments because that's in every video. Is if you took your girl, I want to see a new. I want to see a new comment.
Yeah, of course, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's fine with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mind blowhards having to hold on to things like that, even if they're not true. Like, when like, if you really look at it, the blowhards always mention the 2 things that didn't even happen. McGregor beat me up, which didn't happen, and Adrian taking my girl, which didn't happen. I probably, not that I'm proud of this, I probably slept with more women in 2013, the year of that fight, than these people that probably will sleep with in their whole life. Like, I don't know if that's like allowed to be said here, or if that's even something you should brag about. I'm not saying I'm bragging about it, but
no kids.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm bragging about it, but I mean, I don't know, man. I used to live a pretty fun life, or at least a more erratic, shall we say, whether that's fun in some people's eyes or not. I don't really condone that kind of stuff anymore. But nonetheless, I don't think I'm hating on Canelo. I really don't. Like, I really just think that he should fight Benavidez. And if me mandating or demanding that he fights his outright number 1 contender in the weight class and the guy he's outright ducking is hating, then, bro, these people have a mouthful of of Canelo's what, and then they gotta spit it a little bit.
It's horchata.
Yeah, Exactly. Pause.
Pause. I don't need to pause for that. We know what I'm talking about. Okay, so Mungia, a lot of people are saying nobody could have taken those shots that he took. So the Benavides would have been dropped with the shots that Mungia took. Where do you rate this Mungia performance, and what do you want to see him do?
I think Mungia is going to get better from it. I think I even said before the fight, he's probably a year away from a fight like this, which is probably why he was chosen as the opponent. He started out good. He just couldn't keep the pace. Teddy
Got
Atlas
dropped.
brought a good point. He said he came out running too fast, and that was sort of what it turned out to be. He came out running a bit too fast, too excited, in the big moment. He's probably a year away from this kind of performance. I don't think this performance hurt him. He went the distance. He won some rounds. He gave it a good effort. He never stopped trying to win, which is something you can't say about Charlo last year. You know, um, at least we're getting opponents that are coming to win. Which I mean, the fact that we even have to have that conversation of whether Canelo should be finding opponents to come to win or not is actually beyond ridiculous. But at least we got one here with Mungia. He's coming to win. And I thought he fought hard, he fought good, and his stock will rise. And also, I think it let us see how good Canelo can be in those spots, because you got a guy who's trying to win, even if he's not on your level, and you can show he's not on your level. Listen, Mungia ain't the outright best contender, but he's definitely a top 5 contender. So the fact that Canelo was able to show that he's not on his level in various savvy technical ways, like a ring technician, allows us to at least see the level Canelo is on as well. And so that you have to give Mungia credit for that he was able to bring some of these good qualities out of Canelo as well, so that we could see them and still see that Canelo still has, quality left within his boxing style. Because you couldn't really tell against the guy who's trying to survive. You couldn't really tell against Charlo. You fight a guy like Charlo, you can't really rate the guy because the guy never came to win. So I mean, it was tough to rate what Canelo had left, And the year before that, he fought a 150-year-old Golovkin. So again, then you wonder, then you call me a hater for demanding that the champion fights the best contenders. I think a lot of these blowhards have their priorities mixed up. I don't think that's how sports works.
He has one knockout in his last 10 fights.
Guess what?
He has one knockout in his last 10 fights.
Yeah, but he's been getting knocked down. I can't say that's like, oh, he's got one knockout in his lifetime. No, he's been getting knocked down.
Okay.
He knocked down Ryder. I think he had a knockdown over Charlo too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't say, oh, the power is diminishing. I just think the energy level is diminished. I think he doesn't finish fights strong. He doesn't put guys away because you need an extra gear to do that. But these single power shots are there, and he puts guys down and he gets his respect. But I also think that he's not getting the stoppages because the energy level is not up to par anymore. And I think that there was no different than the Mungia fight. The energy level wasn't there to get the stoppage, I don't think he took his foot off the gas, because if that's the case, you got to say he took his foot off the gas against Ryder, against Charlo, against Golovkin, who was 150 years old in the third fight. I mean, once you got to go be careful down the rabbit hole you want to go down, because then you got to hold that same standard against with everybody else. I think it's the consistency we've seen is that he's got power, he gets knockdowns, he gets his respect, but he doesn't have that extra gear to then put the guy away. And I think that's maybe one of the signs of aging there.
33 years old, 61 wins, 2 losses and 2 draws. Currently undisputed super middleweight champion. Hall of Fame career already?
Yeah, of course. I think he's Hall of Famer for sure. Yeah, that's not what the debate is. That's not what the debate is. I mean, we should all wish we could be in this debate, right? Because if you're part of this debate, is he the best all-time Mexican fighter? Where does he rank among the best all-time fighters, right? That's the debate you're having with Canelo, or what is about Canelo. So, it's a nice debate to be a part of. So it's not like we're saying here that he's not of the level. He's certainly a first ballot Hall of Famer. Granted, in boxing, most people, at this point get in the Hall of Fame at some point. But Canelo certainly, bar none, is a Hall of Famer in his first ballot. So, and the fact that he's even in these debates shows the level that he's on. Because like I said, the debates he's in is not whether he's going to be a Hall of Famer or how good of a champion he is. Those we already know, The debates are, why is he ducking his top contenders when he's supposed to be a champion? and where does he rank among all-time Mexican greats and among all-time greats in general. So it's any boxer would be privileged to be part of such a lofty debate.
Where do you put him in Mexican canon?
Where do I put him?
Yeah.
I don't know.
JCC first?
Huh? Yeah, Chavez goes first.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I put him ahead of some of the greats I've seen in my lifetime. Then there's greats, Mexican greats that I didn't see in my lifetime, you know? So I don't know, man. But I don't he's up there. I mean, he's in the top 10 Mexican greats. I mean, which is, again, Ballhards might say that's, again, a hater. I don't understand how that's hating. We're talking about the guy being in the all-time greats. But again, these people are so, they got to wipe their eyes off, you know, what they see. But I think he's certainly a top 10 Mexican all-time great. I think. I mean, I don't know the Mexicans before me, but I think I put guys like, you know, Chavez, Morales, Barrera, you know, Marquez, you know, they're all Juan Manuel, you know, they're all ahead of him. But that doesn't mean he's not in the conversation. The fact he actually is in the conversation, that's why we're having it.
I mean, I don't know what your opinion is on it. You obviously want to see
I want to see Benavidez or Morel. That's what I want to see. I want to see the guys who are clearly the top two threats, you know. I want to see Benavidez and Morel, you know. And that's it. You know what I mean? I don't want to see really anybody else, but if it's Berlango, you know, we'll make the most of it.
Loma, Kambosos this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, Kambosos hasn't really had a good performance since he beat Teofimo, really. So it's hard to rate him at this point, you know. It's hard to rate him at all, you know. I know he got mad about some things I said about him in the past months, but he's making it very, very difficult to rate him in any way, because he hasn't had a single good performance since beating the Teofimo. He's kind of showing why he was a 13-1 underdog in the Teofimo fight to begin with, right? And he's able to put on a stellar performance that night. But maybe this is who he's always been in general, is what he's showing now. So I don't know. Even though Lomachenko's a bit older, we've yet to see Lomachenko really be beaten in any one-sided fights or any non-controversial fights. So I think, you know, I did have Teofimo beating Lomachenko, but Toledo and Haney are very up in the air as far as what those decisions should have been. But I think I can't see anything but a one-sided fight here with Lomachenko and Kambosos.
Do you remember what he said? Oh,
what?
He said the same shit all the commenters are saying. He said,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why people think that's gonna get under my skin. Like,
he said, maybe it was true. Your girl on belt.
Maybe if it was true, I'd get under my skin, but
I didn't know you even said this, and we were just talking about.
You know what's funny about me? What's funny about me is I'm always known to be brutally honest, right? Like everybody knows, like that's my reputation, and like sometimes, like I don't, you know, I don't really soften my words because I'm too brutally honest, and then people don't like it. That's sort of always been my reputation. So I don't understand why people would think like that's my reputation, but then I would lie about those things. Like, if I'm always brutally honest, I'm always brutally honest. Like, why would I need to lie about any of those things, you know?
I mean,
anyway.
You have kept it 100, Paulie, and
I mean, I sometimes I keep it to 100 to the point where I get myself in trouble. But I mean,
yeah, we've seen that a few times.
I don't see why not keeping it. Why keep it in? Yo, you gotta always keep it 100, whether it's embarrassing or whether it's not. You know, there are definitely embarrassing things about me. You know, but like for example, the way I ran up on Broner and what I said after the fight. Sure, that's looking back like you know what, I could have picked my words better. You know, but in the moment, I'm stopping myself from hitting him, so I don't know what to say. Right? Yeah. But like, do I now gotta go full throttle and just make everybody happy and say, yeah, that was my girl? I mean, it's not. So like, I don't understand why I gotta lie about it just to make appease everybody. When again, I'm brutally honest with everything, and I'm brutally honest with a lot of things that probably aren't so like don't always make me look in a good light, you know.
We can take this up. I'd ask you, would you go back and not do that post fight rant?
No, if I would go back, I would have told him, you know, because I didn't go there looking to talk. I went there looking to hit him.
Yeah.
And then as I'm running across the ring, my job like flashed across my head, like my Showtime job, and I would have definitely lost it if I would have hit him.
Yeah.
So when I got there, I find myself in front of him, and now I didn't go there to talk, and I didn't know what to say. If I don't, no, I would not do that. What I would do afterwards, I would run across the ring and ask him how my dick tastes. That's probably how I would have probably said that. I would have probably asked him, "You don't really think you won that fight, do you?" And then whatever his answer would have been, I would have been like, "All right, bro, all right, real serious talk, real talk. How's my dick taste?" I would have probably done it that way. But in the moment, like I said, I didn't go there to talk.
Yeah.
I thought it was over. I'm like, all right, they just robbed me of my title. I'm kind of feeling some type of way, and then that happened. But yeah, I mean, it's become something of a viral content now. But at this point, I'd really love to be able to say that's how it happened. But like I said, for a guy who's brutally honest, if I'm telling you that's not how it happened, and you still want to believe it, but yet you always say I'm brutally honest, then it's up to you, But it's not going to really bother me.
So can Kambosos return to that form he had against Teofimo against Loma?
No, I don't think so. I don't think we only get older anyway. I can't see, and again,
as a guy who's done that though, you can't seem digging down how you kind of came back after your Hatton fight, after a few losses.
Because you're gonna get a really pissed off Lomachenko too, So
yeah.
So I don't think I can't see it. I really can't see it.
Not against. I mean, you did it against the Ukrainian in Ukraine.
Yeah, but you're gonna get a pissed off, very motivated Lomachenko. I can't see it happening.
So you're saying it's a clinic?
Plus, he struggled against Maxi Hughes, who I mean, who's a solid, crafty guy, but we saw his level when he fought Zepeda.
So you're just saying it's going to be a clinic by Loma?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a one-sided fight. Yeah, I do.
And last but not least, we'll just touch on it. Are you over the Ryan Garcia stuff already?
Yeah, I mean, what do you mean? As far as done talking about him? Yeah, I mean, I don't see why he's in the conversation until his next fight. I don't. As a matter of fact, I don't even think I was wrong. I mean, the guy popped for 2 performance enhancers, one being a steroid and one being a SARM. So I don't actually think I was wrong. It's like it's possible that I was right. It's just the guy was on the stuff. So
you didn't listen to the diss track. You didn't listen to the Devin Haney diss track he just dropped.
No, Devin Haney dropped a diss track.
No, Ryan Garcia dropped one.
No, get out of here. What'd he say?
It was ass. I got 10 seconds in. I was like, yeah, that's not me. It's not for me.
So he dissed Devin Haney in a diss track?
Yeah, he dissed Devin Haney in a diss track. I'll put the link for the listeners. They probably let me know how long you guys last during this diss track.
I don't understand what the diss track. Yo, this is the amazing thing about modern society, that he's putting out a diss track.
Well, there's a lot of diss tracks going on right now with Kendrick and Drake.
No, that's not what I'm talking about, though. In the context of this guy just popped for a steroid test, he should be embarrassed and hiding himself in his room. That the biggest win of his career, finally a win that actually finally legitimized him, it turns out to be fraudulent, and he's not hiding. Like that's, and he's putting out diss tracks instead. Dude, we got a weird generation, bro. Not so much him, but the fact that he can do that and he knows he won't get embarrassed for it. Because like in older generations, you would have popped for something like that and then done that. Everybody would have just mentally destroyed you, and would have everybody, you would have put out a diss track in the old generation, they would have mentally destroyed you and you would have been hiding, so I don't know.
How have you seen other boxers respond in the past when they got popped?
They denied it, and then they still got embarrassed, and then they came back. They definitely didn't get credit for the performance they had on the drugs, though. That's one thing I know. This is a first where this guy continues to get credit for the performance. So they definitely didn't get credit for the performance that they popped with.
Does the loss get taken away? Have you seen that before?
Yeah. I've never seen the loss not.
I've seen it in UFC. I haven't seen it in boxing.
I've never seen a loss not get taken away in my life when the guy pops, actually. So like, I mean, I'm waiting for the loss to be taken away. It would be a first if it's not taken away.
Okay. I mean, because Canelo also tested positive, and then we have Andy Ruiz in the past. And
yeah, but that's in the lead up. That's in the lead up to fights, not after fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when do you expect that to happen, or how can that happen?
Boxing is such a despicable, disgusting business that I actually wouldn't be shocked if it doesn't happen, even though it would be a first. But I'm expecting the loss to be taken off of Devin Haney's record. That's what I would expect. I mean, I don't even think it's about pull. I think it's about the right thing being done. I don't see how you can't. I don't see how you have an argument to not take away the loss, especially once the B samples come back. If they are positive, which they will be. I mean, it's like 99.9% of the time the B sample is the same as the A sample. I don't see how you. I don't see. I can't think of any possibilities to legitimately take away, keep the loss on Devin's record if this guy is, 30. We'll see.
We'll end it with this. What would you be saying if you're Devin Haney? Would you be all up in the press? Would you be on ESPN?
I'm wondering if Devin's jaw was really broken because he's not talked, and I think he would be talking.
No,
I think he would be.
He went on a show on ESPN and talked about it. Yeah.
Okay, so what did he say?
He basically said Ryan was cheating. He came in overweight. Same thing. Would you be doing that, or would you be letting the business handle it for you?
No, I'd be
loud.
I'd be talking about the injustice. Yeah, of course. Shoot, I talk about injustice when it's not even having to do anything to do with me, let alone when it's in the sport in general.
Yeah.
Talk about Canelo ducking his outright mandatory. I'll talk about the fact that this has to come off Devin's record. And I can also tell a lot of Ryan's fans are also new to the sport because a lot of them are making like I'm very soft on black fighters and I just root for black fighters. And anybody who has been watching boxing even like 2 years knows that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? Where I kind of call it down the middle. I rate black fighters like Shakur Stevenson and Terrence Crawford, for example. And I thought guys like Devin Haney, even though they were solid, were a bit overrated. But so I'm definitely not going to bat for Devin Haney here for the fact that he's black. I'm going to bat for Devin Haney here because it's the right thing to do. When a guy pops for performance enhancers, he's supposed to get suspended, fined, and get the win taken off his record if it's right after a victory where he was tested before the fight. So I don't think there's any argument here. If he was popped for these, he was pop positive for these performance enhancers.
Is there anything else you want to say?
No, that's it. Oh, sorry, Lipinets versus Robbie Davies on ProBox TV. Check us out tomorrow, the 8th. Is this coming out today or tomorrow? May 8th.
I think I'm gonna drop it today. Are you doing any BYB?
We're doing BYB Friday, yeah. Friday night in Denver. I'll be in Denver Friday night with BYB. Yeah.
And last but not least,
that's what I'm saying, guys. Like I live a good life, guys. I'm sorry. I know like in my imaginary minds, you blowhards wish it was this, or talk about guys taking my girls. Like I got very beautiful women. My girl is beautiful. I live well. I don't know. Like it's like McGregor didn't beat me up. I still like to abuse him every once in a while because it's fun. I don't know. I feel bad for these people. Like I feel like there should be more meaning to your life than whether a guy wins or loses a fight, or whether people talk good or bad about a fighter. I feel like there's a lot more to life than that. I hope these people eventually reach that conclusion.
Well, when Connor comes back for UFC 303, I want to cover that with you. I'm going to make that decision up to you, but I think it'd be an entertaining part.
They are really lowering the bar for Connor. They are real low. Like every time, because really, if you look at it, Poirier hadn't been on a good streak, right? And then he comes back and beats up Connor twice, but then he went back to losing again. So Poirier's best days were probably already behind him, but he still managed to beat up Connor twice. And now Chandler's probably on a lesser streak than even Poirier was before going into the Connor fight. Like they're really going for the lowest hanging fruit for this poor guy, just so they can pray that he can get a win. I mean, how his fans aren't ashamed of him at this point is beyond me. But again, it's the same thing, new generation stuff. I like to go back and forth with these people. It's fun because it's definitely a difference of mentality in life.
So that'll be our one MMA show. We're gonna do.
I get a kick out. No, but it's groupies in general. Canelo groupies, Ryan Garcia groupies, McGregor groupies. And what about McGregor demanding that Ryan be banned for life? Talk about the pothole in the kettle black? No, the guy who's been skipping out on all the steroid tests and forced the UFC to get away from USADA so he wouldn't be tested anymore. That guy's demanding Ryan to be banned for life. Talk about the pothole in the kettle black. What a degenerate, man. What a loser. I appreciate everybody who's giving your opinions, whether we agree or disagree. It's still
Keep them
still
coming.
nice
Keep
to.
them coming.
No, it's not that. It's not. It's always nice. It's not always good to have just people that agree with you all the time. You know what I mean? It's a bit soft actually. Like I think the exchange of ideas and different opinions is good. So I think that the people that come to Paulie TV, I think they do have thick skin for that, whether they agree with me or disagree with me. The fact that people that disagree keep coming back as well, I think they have the thick skin to understand that. You know, it's more fun to reason on things and not all of us have the same opinions. We're not all robots, you know. So I still think it's more fun, and that's I actually still appreciate the dialogue, regardless of whether it's good or bad. I think that's what people have to understand. But that's it, man. This is
Thanks,
Paulie
Paulie.
Malignaggi. This has been Combat and Coffee, even though I didn't have the coffee. Check us out on Pro Box TV tomorrow night. Lipinets versus Robbie Davies. Robbie Davies. Pro Box TV, your boxing channel. Paulie TV, where you get all the best opinions. Here from Paulie Malignaggi.